I think unlike other previous videos, we're going to get memey here with the patch notes really early on. Zooey's jump U on counter hit used to behave like this. In this version, it now has a cinematic animation like most close heavy slash counter hits do. It causes a wall bounce on counter hit even when using mid-screen, and the knockback has been adjusted. Let the memes begin, friends. We're taking to Twitter. Most clips you'll find of this change are going to look like this. And if you prefer your memes to be saucy, let's talk about this. Obviously, Zooey appreciates this. Her jumping U is 8-frame startup, so it's actually not too bad of a choice to use as like an air-to-air option, possibly a jump-in normal of sorts, though we do have to consider the other context of what happens if this move hits. A normal hit, this is what you can get. There's obviously more follow-ups to this here, starting from the link from crouching M that we can get. So, on normal hit, we get some good rewards cooking for ourselves. Here's the situation on block. You maintain your frame advantage, you're in the opponent's face, so all in all, this looks like a pretty good normal for jump-ins now. And of course, as an air-to-air, there's plenty of opportunities to convert as well. While I'm not sure how matchup practical it is to get the cross-up JU into the fun shenanigans we got to see with Zooey in the Twitter clips, I do think that overall, this normal is going to be seeing a lot more use on her side, and it's a pretty fun tool to have in her kit overall. It's very, very honorable of you, Arxis, to give her a little bit of Soul Bad Guy's blood. Like many other characters, her dash medium had its travel speed and distance increased. She appreciates this as it is an advancing overhead. We'll compare it to the previous version now. It's a very dramatic improvement. When Wyvern makes contact with the camera boundary after Immortal Thrust, his active frames have been reduced. This is what it looked like before. There is no additional context listed for this in the patch notes, but what I assume the intent is to make it so that Wyvern is active earlier in the case that the opponent is able to evade or jump over Wyvern, so that Zooey can start using the other Wyvern spells at a faster rate. It's hard for me to demonstrate this change, so we're just going to discuss it here, understand, and move on. When Zooey uses Peacemaker's wings, she's now in a fixed position until the attack becomes active. The patch notes say that this is intended to reduce cases where the move can whiff if Zooey is pushed, like by a foe dashing at her. The medium and ultimate versions of Zooey's spinning slash have been adjusted. The medium version had its travel speed and distance increased. This is what it looked like before. And this is the new range of her medium spinning slash. A very dramatic difference. She'll appreciate this for neutral. This is how the ultimate spins push block used to look in the corner. You're -4 and far enough away from the opponent where they can't punish you. And this is the new ultimate spinning slash's pushback on block in the corner. You'll note the outcome here. Even when you're spaced out, you're close enough to the opponent at -4 so that they can actually just punish you with a throw. This will be a back throw in a match where now you're cornered for it. So be careful about throwing this out in neutral, trying to get a stray hit. Her aerial spinning slash had a couple adjustments as well. Travel speed has been adjusted so that the falling portion of the attack will now hit at maximum distance. When you're at full screen like this is what would happen before. You'll note that it's pretty much always 60 active frames. And this is how it looks now. It still has the same total active frames, but it definitely moves faster than before. She'll appreciate this if she wants to try and close the gap on neutral from this, and also for some potential combo routing. All versions of her Thunder attack have had massive buffs applied to them. For starters, this is how it would behave before. If you had the sword portion and the lightning portions of the hit connect, nothing really happened. You still had a grounded hit. Additionally, the lightning follow-up damage would be scaled. Now check out the behavior. The sword portion of the Thunder special now launches the opponent on hit. The knockback's been adjusted so that in general, the opponent's going to be launched back into the lightning now. Additionally, the lightning bolts now, if they hit as well as the sword portion do, they no longer have follow-up damage scaling. We did about 3360 before, and now this combo did 3460. So she's getting a little bit of extra damage here. it also doesn't affect the combo limit anymore. So the entire Thunder special, when used on an airborne opponent, if you connect with the sword and the lightning, only counts towards one of your 6-hit combo limit against airborne opponents. That's a really big buff for her. Just so you can see the behavior in mid-screen for all versions. The light version, you get a little bit of extra damage, and you get a nice knockdown Oki, plus 24 at close range. Medium version in mid-screen, you get the same frame advantage, but the lightning bolt spawns behind. Not really anything happening there. You get considerable corner carry as well as nice frame advantage from the EX version in mid-screen. This is really great for her. Keep in mind, too, that the uncharged version of her Heavy Thunder, the third lightning strike will cause a ground bounce on mid-air hits. Huh, I wonder when we get mid-air hits with this move now. Oh yeah, just by launching them with it. This is great combo utility for Zooey. Ultimate Thunder has been reworked, arguably for the better. Several things have changed about it. Let's go ahead and look how it used to behave before. At point-blank range, if you made the opponent block the sword portion of the skill, you got a guard crush, which then basically meant that they were hit by the lightning bolt. A nice bit of 1500 damage for sure, but you really didn't get much utility after that. The push back on block has also been adjusted, so we'll take a look at what it was before. A little bit of pushback, but nothing too crazy. Zooey is plus 18 in this situation, do know. As an anti-air, the knockback has also been adjusted. Check out how it behaved before. They would pretty much fall straight down to the ground with plenty of hit stop to them, so I'm pretty sure you can get a nice pickup right here. Also, you note the startup of the move is 25 frames for the sword portion. Let's go over the change attributes. For starters, this now produces 5 lightning strikes. You get considerably more damage with this on hit. And don't be scared by the fact that Gran gets pushed all the way out from you in mid-screen. You have tons of options here for follow-ups. In return for this new combo utility, it no longer guard crushes, which means you don't get guaranteed follow-ups. It is, however, still pretty safe to throw out a mid-screen. The opponent's pushed all the way back and you're plus 16. You're also plus 12 in the corner, so you can definitely use this to force your turn over again. The aerial knockback when it's used to anti-air has also been adjusted. The enemy still falls all the way down, so depending on where Wyvern is or some other positionings or resource that you have on deck, you can probably get more pickups off of this as well. Zooey's last change is to her Super Skybound Armageddon. The active frames on the close range hitbox have increased from 3 to 6 frames. The spacing for determining the close range hit have not changed though. All this probably means is that it's more reliable in some combo situations. I'll take a moment here just to demonstrate how important it is that Zooey has all these new combo tools. So we're going to go through a couple of videos I was able to pull up on Twitter. Thanks to the hashtag right here for letting me look these up. This first one's from Fluffy Mamonga. There's a lot of changes being showcased there, namely with all of the changes to her Thunder special. She really has some long and high damage combos now. It's great. From Skyrovania, we get an example of just how dangerous this new JD can be. $8,500 from a jump normal in an air-to-air interaction. Crazy. This one's a little more of a practical showcase of damage that you can get with using Heavy Thunder as a combo launcher. One last little bit of tech I'll leave you with comes from Kirby Lord, where they're going to point out to you that you need close heavy to combo into grounded ult lightning for some of these new combo routes. However, against a crouching opponent, you can go close light into a close heavy to give you these conversions. You also see that by the end of this combo, you're able to get some cooldowns up and run Okazemi. After looking at these changes, it almost feels like Zooey is potentially one of the most buffed characters in this balance patch, which is weird to think about considering that a lot of her utility before came from some of her ultimate special skills in the previous patch, which have been nerfed as combo starters. However, the new utility that all of her Thunder moves have, the increased range from Spinning Slash and how that even combos with Zoe's new utility from Thunder, just really comes together. She feels a little more functional on her own, I would say, and less reliant on Wyvern, where now Wyvern's able to accent a perfectly functional kit, making Zooey stand out a little more uniquely amongst the cast, I would say. It's great to see her in this form. Now, y'all, go hunt for those counter-hit JU hits.